A quick note to my new subscribers who are just here for the Hazbin Hotel content. I do have more coming, but my next few videos queued are the other kinds of content I make. You're welcome to stick around for that, but just don't be surprised and disappointed if I don't jump right into Charlie's Rhetoric or Angel Dust Substance Abuse Disorder. I'm still editing those scripts and they're coming, but they're just not done yet. You can expect to see those in September and October respectively. It's come to my attention that my viewers, who may or may not be representative of the Hazbin Hotel fandom, don't know, on the whole, what paratext is. Longtime viewers will know that there is nothing I love more than teaching people how to get the most out of the media they enjoy, so let's start by defining some terms and then apply the concepts to see what we can learn about the show through our knowledge of Medrano's personal life. We get to learn something, dig into some media we like, and dig through the personal life of an online personality. Win-win-win, right? Media analysis is the act of using critical thinking to understand what a piece of media is doing, why it exists, and what it means. To do this, we scrutinize the text, which includes the writing, art, music, acting choices, and anything else that makes up the actual substance of what we're reviewing. The color of Charlie's hair and Lucifer's depression are text. In addition to text, we can also use paratext. Paratext is a literary criticism word that refers to all materials that surround a text and that can be used to inform an analysis of the text. There are two kinds of paratext, epitext and peritext. Peritext refers to all elements that are within the published material and inform your consumption of the media, but are not actually part of the text itself. An example of this is the table of contents, or in this case, the list of episodes. The episode 2 title, Radio Killed the Video Star, is a reference to the song Video Killed the Radio Star. And informs us of one of the character dynamics introduced in this episode of the show. There's also epitext, which includes materials that are not published with the text, including reviews, interviews, pilots, and details of the author's personal life. To make this more complicated, the categories aren't always distinct. A review can be published on a book cover as promotion, details from an author's life can be published in a cover flap bio, and clips from Medrano's live streams could be uploaded to Amazon. All of these turn epitext into peritext. I've mentioned in video comments, but not in a video itself, that I tend to use paratext sparingly in my analysis to support or elevate a point that can be made with text alone. The reason is that while paratext can inform your understanding of the text, it's not very meaningful in and of itself. It's like paint without a wall to put it on. An example of this is the wiki, Journey to the Light, that catalogs an alternate universe in which Hazbin is 5 seasons long, in which Vaggie and Fat Nuggets are dead, and who knows what other nonsense goes on. I don't particularly care, because why should I? This paratext doesn't inform me of anything and doesn't get us anywhere. Doing analysis of it is like shadowboxing, because there's never anything concrete you can point to and say, look, proof of something. And the same goes for using paratext as primary evidence towards analysis of a text. It can support a text, but it can't be referenced instead of text. This is more obvious in instances where paratext and text directly contradict. Let's use Alistair as an example. Alistair's diet is very different in the pilot compared to the show. In the pilot, he invites the cast to eat jambalaya with him, implying that he eats human food.
Well, I'm starved. Who wants some jambalaya?
Whereas in episodes 3 and 5, we see him eat a rotting deer.
I'm in the middle of breakfast.
Taste an angel.
Mayhaps 'twas not by a demon's hand at all.
And swallow the loan shark's whole.
It may be a bit more sadistic than I'd hoped.
In fact, we never see him eat normal food in the main series, except for coffee.
Salutations! Good to be back on the air!
And we can can argue whether or not he does eat normal food. He doesn't say he can't or that he chooses not to, but we also don't see it happen. There are also times when paratext neither contradicts nor aligns with the text, but can still be used to gain insight into the messaging, creative process, themes, etc. of the show. An example of this, and here's where we're going to talk about Medrano herself, is in Medrano's similarities to her protagonist Charlie Morningstar. Sometimes such similarities can inform an audience about why a piece of media was made or what kind of ideas or experiences resonate with the author and may have been included in the work. But remember, and this is very important, like, if you take nothing else away, I want you to take this away. You can use an author's life to inform your reading of the text, but you cannot use a text to gain insight into a human being. We will not be speculating on Medrano's life here, and I hope no one watching this tries somewhere else. Understood? Excellent. So in 2020, Vivian Medrano tried to reach across the political aisle by watching some Blair White videos and drew some fan art of her. There seem to have been three impulses behind this. First, she doesn't like to live in a bubble and likes to understand what others think and believe. Second, she liked Blair's energy, confidence, and appearance. Third, she was very lonely at the time and wanted to reach out to people. All of this makes sense to me. I've done literally all of this. But whether or not you understand where she's coming from, this personal information can inform our analysis of Has-Been by helping us focus on ideas that might not have jumped out right away, but the author was clearly thinking about and trying to communicate, consciously or subconsciously. So let's see where these ideas show up in Has-Been. Has-Been Hotel is a show that's fundamentally about communication. Characters try to convince each other to do things, leverage their personal relationships, bribe each other, lie to each other for a myriad of reasons, and control their flocks of followers through the use of mass media. I talked about this in my series on Alistair, and I'll talk about it more in my series on Charlie. Subscribe if you're interested in being alerted to that. It's also reflective of Medrano's choice to go out of her way to learn about others with whom she disagrees, and this alerted me to the fact that Charlie doesn't just talk. She also listens. In Happy Day in Hell, she sings,
I can hear all their stories, the lost and displaced, and I know that they're more of an acquired taste. But if I open the door and I give them a place at my Has-Been Hotel, it'll be a happy day in hell.
She makes it explicit that if her hotel is going to work, she must listen to people that she doesn't find pleasing. This is more give and take than I'd initially noticed from Charlie. She tends to be pretty uncompromising in her goals, so this exception to the rule is instructive. Further, Charlie isn't just willing to listen to the sinner's stories, she wants to listen to the stories because she sees them as a valuable tool for getting sinners to change and to be better. We also have confirmation that this tactic works and is appreciated by one of those on the receiving ends. In Whatever It Takes, Vaggie sings,
When I saw your face, you made me feel like a stranger in a brand new place, and it felt so good to be understood.
Showing that Charlie's approach to being open to others is part of what drew her in. Vaggie was the first person Charlie won over, and this line tells us how she did it. Conversely, the main tool employed by the antagonists is their unwillingness to listen.
I'm sorry, but this court finds that there is no evidence souls in hell can be redeemed.
Sarah can be nicer than Adam, but she's just as effective at stonewalling Charlie's agenda. Another similarity between this Medrano controversy and Charlie is the fact that both are drawn in by good looks. Medrano drew some art of Blair White because she was pretty, and Charlie was quickly swayed over to thinking well of heaven when they showed her rainbow sprinkles and a zoo with soft animals.
I love heaven! Vaggie, did you see the ice cream shop? They had sprinkles made of rainbows!
Those are just rainbow sprinkles.
Emily's going to take me to a zoo where all the animals are actually soft!
More broadly, one of the themes of Has-Been Hotel is how we manipulate our image to influence others. Frequently, characters put on a false front to be seen how they want to be seen, maintain power over someone, or seem more in control than they really feel.
A smile is a valuable tool, my dear. It inspires your friends, keeps your enemies guessing, and ensures that no matter what comes your way, you're the one in control.
But it's not just a powerful tool. Heaven isn't just a nice place to be. It's full of people who want Charlie to fail.
And now Lucifer is involved, setting up an audience for his misguided daughter.
And she doesn't realize until the trial is well underway, when it's too late to put up a wall and see things as they really are. It's naive to think that a beautiful place or beautiful people have beautiful intentions, and it's a lesson Charlie has to learn, despite being warned by her father and her girlfriend. Through the fact that it is a lesson she learns, Medrano argues that there's value in vigilance with others before you know their true intentions, ideals, and politics, no matter how they seem at first. The third place I found similarity between the Medrano-Blair White controversy and the show Hazbin Hotel is in loneliness leading to strange company. In Medrano's case, she was looking for human connection, paying in the long term with her own reputation, whereas in episode 7, we see things got even darker for Charlie. In this episode, we see Charlie at her lowest, unable to protect the people she's promised to help and unable to trust her partner who's been lying to her for 3 years.
I'm the farthest thing from in control. The person I trust most has been lying to me for years. Heaven refuses to listen. Even if they did, I can't prove the hotel works. Adam has an invincible exorcist army pointed right at my doorstep, and there's nothing I can do about any of it!
In light of this vacuum of support and closeness to others, Alistair decides to take advantage, and Charlie agrees to a deal she might not have had she been surrounded by trustworthy companions.
I'll do anything!
Anything? Then let's make a deal.
You want my soul?
Your soul? Heavens, no! All I need from you is one itty-bitty favor. What's a favor between friends?
Through the portrayal of this character dynamic, Medrano argues that loneliness makes you vulnerable, broadly because we thrive on social connections, and specifically in this instance because we're interdependent on one another, and when we aren't or can't, we're weaker. Because Charlie doesn't feel she can be interdependent with Vaggie, she chooses to be interdependent with Alistair, who's a much more sinister character, but the one she feels she has at her disposal. This help had a price, and until we know what the favor she owes him will be, this price will continue to hang over Charlie. In real life, we don't have soul bonds, but the friends we make and the company we keep can tarnish or bolster our reputations, and much like Charlie, we need to be careful when choosing whom to turn to for help. Through the use of paratext, specifically the epitext of Medrano speaking about her relationship with Blair White, we can draw attention to the ideas that appear in her work that we may have otherwise missed. By using this blog post to guide our reading of Hazbin Hotel, we can allow our attention to be drawn to the importance of listening to others as a way of helping them be better, staying vigilant around people who might not be what they first seem, and the cost of loneliness. While they're not the most evident themes of the show, they're given a new weight from the fact that Medrano calls attention to them. This process is not to be confused with the practice of taking what's said in paratext and superimposing it onto the text where it's not present. To revisit our earlier example, one could use Medrano's epitextual confirmation that Alistair is Creole to draw attention to the Vives we see appear around Alistair when he uses his powers, or to the fact that the style of music changes when he steals first Vox's and then Lucifer's songs to a New Orleans jazz style.
So the radio demon is back in town. Why is he hanging around? What does that mean for your family? Well, Handley, I've got good news. He's a loser, a fossil, and I don't mean to sound hostile, but the demon is a coward!
Is Vox as strong as he purports, or is it based on his support? He'd be powerless without the other bees.
Oh, please!
Michelin tasting menu free a la carte. I'll rig the game for you because I'm the ref. Champagne fountains, caviar mountains, that's just a start.
I'm truly honored that we built such a bond. You're like the child that I wish that I had.
What?
I care for you just like a daughter I spawned.
I mean, my goodness, listen to those horns. At that point, the evidence is no longer simply the fact that Medrano said so, but rather, here is the textual support for my claim in the form of animation and music. However, one could not use Alistair's statement about eating jambalaya in the pilot as evidence for his culture, diet, or culinary habits, since we see him eat very differently in the show. When ideas or evidence contradict, one must default to the text rather than the paratext, as it takes precedence. Thank you all for joining me on another how-to media criticism video. They're some of my favorites to make, and I hope that they are ultimately empowering to others as you guys do your own media analysis. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more.